It looks like a creature from science fiction, yet it's very real. It moves with purpose. It reacts with precision. Its body is equipped with features so advanced, they make even our best technologies seem primitive. This isn't just evolution, at least not the kind we've come to understand, because this animal didn't evolve slowly, messily, or randomly like most species. It arrived with tools, instincts, and abilities that seem intentional, as if something or someone designed it from the very beginning. The deeper we study it, the more unsettling the question becomes. How did this creature become so perfect, and what does it say about the true nature of evolution? When we think of evolution, we imagine slow progress, random mutations, tiny advantages passed down over time. Nature doesn't plan, it doesn't design, it simply adapts. But what happens when a species appears to skip the chaos entirely? This animal's body functions with a kind of perfection rarely seen in the wild. No excess, no wasted motion. Every part seems calculated, optimized for survival, efficiency, and precision. Its eyes rival military-grade optics. Its muscles deliver bursts of speed that outmatch robotics. Its nervous system reacts faster than our own. To some, this looks like a masterpiece of evolution, but to others, it looks like a blueprint, as if nature didn't just stumble upon this creature, but carefully engineered it. So, what is this mysterious creature? Meet the mantis shrimp, a marine predator no longer than a pencil, but packing the punch of a bullet. With eyes that can see polarized light in 12 color channels compared to our 3, this shrimp processes visual data faster than any other animal on Earth. It perceives the world in ways we literally cannot imagine. And its limbs? They strike with the acceleration of a .22 caliber rifle, creating underwater shock waves that can break aquarium glass and stun prey without even touching it, all packed into a small armored body that hasn't changed much in millions of years. This isn't just a bizarre sea creature. It's a fully formed biological weapon, built with such precision that many scientists still struggle to explain how it evolved and why it's so advanced for its size. Is it simply nature's overachievement? Or is this something that should not have been possible at all? The mantis shrimp doesn't just survive, it dominates. Its punch is so fast it creates cavitation bubbles, tiny pockets of boiling water that collapse with enough force to generate light and heat. Yes, this tiny shrimp creates underwater explosions with nothing but muscle. And then there are the eyes. Each eye can move independently, scanning its surroundings with trinocular vision. It sees patterns in light that human eyes can't detect. Scientists still aren't sure why it needs such advanced vision, or how its brain processes the flood of data. It's like giving a supercomputer to a creature the size of your finger. The more we study it, the less it fits within the rules of gradual adaptive evolution. Because this isn't evolution tweaking and improving, this is evolution delivering a finished product like it had a manual to work from. Every species has an origin story. Evolution leaves clues: fossils, genetic drift, transitional forms. But when we look at the mantis shrimp's evolutionary timeline, we find gaps, big ones. Its ancestors date back over 400 million years, far older than the dinosaurs. And yet, its core features appear almost fully formed, almost from the beginning. No clear evolutionary chain of almost mantis shrimps. No gradual development of its weaponized limbs or hyper-complex eyes. Just sudden appearance, like nature skipped the prototype phase and went straight to the final design. This challenges what we expect from natural selection. How can such a specialized, high-performance system evolve so early and stay almost unchanged for millions of years? Evolution is messy, but this looks intentional, and scientists are beginning to admit something about this creature doesn't add up. Here's where things get even stranger. The mantis shrimp's eyes detect polarized light and multispectral information, technology we only recently began to understand. Its vision system inspired new forms of biomedical imaging and military surveillance tech. Scientists literally studied this creature to build better machines. And that punch? Engineers are trying to mimic the shrimp's limb mechanics to create next-generation robotic arms, ones that don't rely on motors, but on spring-loaded energy bursts. In other words, this tiny marine animal already does what our smartest minds are just beginning to figure out. It's almost like nature was ahead of us, or worse, like nature already had the answers. What if we're not inventing new technologies, but rediscovering blueprints that were already written into life millions of years ago? When scientists study something this advanced, you'd expect consensus. But the mantis shrimp has sparked debate and division. Some researchers insist it's just an example of extreme natural selection, a lucky winner in evolution's long game of survival. They argue that over millions of years, random mutations can lead to astonishing results. But others aren't so sure. One marine biologist called the shrimp's vision system so mathematically perfect, it borders on the unnatural. Another evolutionary theorist admitted, "We have no clear pathway for how such complex structures evolved. It looks engineered." And behind closed doors, a few whisper a more controversial idea. What if evolution isn't entirely random? What if, in some rare cases, it behaves like a guided system, reaching solutions far too efficiently, almost like a plan was followed? These aren't conspiracy theorists. These are respected scientists, and they're starting to ask questions mainstream biology has long avoided. What if nature didn't just evolve this creature, but rendered it? There's a theory gaining ground, not in fiction, but in actual scientific circles. It's called the simulation hypothesis. The idea that our entire universe, everything we know, life, matter, evolution, is part of a vast simulation, like a program running on an unimaginable scale. And in simulations, you don't need to follow every rule. You can insert code, accelerate outcomes, or copy-paste designs across different systems. That's where creatures like the mantis shrimp come in. Its abilities are so advanced, so finished, that some theorists believe it may be a form of debug code, a functional patch dropped into the simulation to test natural limits, or to maintain balance. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But then again, how else do you explain a shrimp that sees in 12 dimensions, hits like a gun, and hasn't needed to evolve for millions of years? Nature usually stumbles toward complexity. This animal sprinted, and maybe, just maybe, it was placed here. Long before microscopes and marine biology, ancient cultures told stories of creatures with godlike senses and deadly strikes. In the Pacific Islands, fishermen passed down myths of a sea spirit with lightning-fast arms and eyes that could see through illusions. In parts of Southeast Asia, ancient art depicts small, alien-like creatures with stalked eyes and explosive limbs, etched into stone long before science ever discovered the mantis shrimp. Coincidence? Maybe. But what if these weren't just myths? What if our ancestors encountered these creatures and recognized something unnatural about them? Something so advanced it had to be explained through legend and fear? Modern researchers are starting to revisit ancient texts, not as fantasy, but as possible recorded observations. Because sometimes history hides real events in the language of the supernatural. And in this case, ancient voices may have noticed what modern science is only just beginning to question. This creature doesn't behave like the rest of the natural world. It behaves like it came from somewhere else. So we're left with a question science can't fully answer. Why did this species evolve like it was designed? Was it just nature being efficient? Or something more deliberate? The mantis shrimp is not just an evolutionary oddity. It's a challenge, a contradiction, a creature that shouldn't exist in its current form and yet does effortlessly. Every feature from its hyper-advanced eyes to its weaponized limbs feels like a signature, left behind by a process we don't yet understand. Maybe it's evolution, taken to an extreme. Maybe it's a natural miracle, or maybe it's a glitch in the system. A reminder that we might be inside something far more complex than we ever imagined. Because if one species on Earth looks engineered, how many more are out there, waiting to be found? And what will we do when we find the next one? Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon for more videos.